What's good, YouTube? Today I'm here with my Tesla Model 3 Highland, the refresh. I bought this car back in June of 2024, so it's been around 7 months of ownership with the car. So I feel like I'm pretty familiar with the car at this point, and I just want to give y'all a little insight, a little review, list my 5 pros, my 5 cons about owning the vehicle. Hopefully you guys can get a little more insight here. Let me know what you guys want to see in the future too. This is my first YouTube video, so let me know what you guys want to see next, and comment down below if you have any questions in regards to what I'm talking about, because I might not come off really clearly. So yeah, but anyways, forget all of that. Let's go on a ride and start talking about our pros and cons. So I'm back. It's a whole nother day. I accidentally erased everything on my SD card. Good job on me, right? So pro number one is that it makes your life a whole lot easier. It's probably the most convenient and practical car on the market. And the reason I say that is just because of the little features that come with a car. If I'm at a red light, the car chimes for me to go when it's green. And I walk towards the car unlocks. And when I walk away, the car locks. Simple things like that it just makes your whole life easier. And there's a bunch of little features that I'm forgetting in the system itself. But even the blind spot cameras, like, these are things that really help your driving experience. So I feel like it adds in a lot of the stuff that are necessary and just strips away everything else that isn't, which is why the car is like really minimalistic. It's just the screen and the steering wheel. There's not even stocks, which I'm gonna get to later. But yeah, I just feel like this car makes your life a whole lot easier. Just a really convenient car. That's the first thing I noticed when I started driving it on a daily basis, just how easy it is. Like, sometimes when I drive my parents' cars and I'm trying to park the car, I really forget to close the engine when I leave the car because I'm so used to just walking away from the car and the car turning off. So these little things really do add up in the long run. Pro number 2 with this car is probably the cost of ownership over the next 5-10 years, however long you plan on keeping the car. One of the biggest reasons I bought the car in the first place is because there's really not much maintenance when it comes to the car. All you really got to do is rotate tires, replace tires after maybe 10-20,000 miles, and replace your cabin air filter every 2 years, and wind washer fluid, and that's about it. And it's just because of the fact that it's an electric car, and Tesla has just refined it to the point where there's not a lot of moving parts like there is in, a regular ICE car. So yeah, when it comes to maintenance and repairs and just the overall cost of ownership in the long run, I've seen allegedly that Tesla got it. You know what I'm saying? Tesla got it in that aspect. So I almost hit that bus. Another pro is that you feel like you're constantly getting updates with this car, and that you're always getting a new car. Because I know a lot of you guys know that this car is just like an iPhone. It updates frequently, and they add features to the car that weren't there previously. So when I got this car, it didn't have the auto shift feature. And for those of you who don't know, I'll put a clip here to demonstrate how it works. But basically, when you reverse into a parking spot or making a 3-way turn or U-turn, the car recognizes it, and as soon as you turn your steering wheel in the opposite direction, it allows you to shift to either drive or reverse, whatever situation you're in. And it does it in a really, really smart way. And even when you're just parked and get in the car for the first time, it knows whether or not you want to reverse or drive. Now, granted, it's not perfect. There's been times where I almost reversed into a car because I thought I was in drive, and it automatically shifted for me when I didn't want it to. So I would say they're like 90% there. 90% of the time it does work, but you just got to be cautious and make sure you're looking at which shift you're in. Now, another big pro for me is the quiet cabin and the refined suspension. When I test drove an older Model 3 around 3 years ago, I really, really, really did not like the ride quality. I felt every bump on the road, and I heard every little pebble and rock that I went over. And it just didn't feel, premium. It didn't feel like a comfortable ride at all. So I would say they really drastically improved that portion, because when I test drove this vehicle, I was taken aback. I was like, wow, they actually did fix it, you know? So it's something you really need to experience for yourself. But if you drove an older Model 3, you could tell the difference right away for sure. So for those of you who have the older model and are thinking of maybe upgrading to this model, I would say just go for a test drive and experience it for yourself. But for those of you who are just buying it for the first time, I think it's, even though the older models might be cheaper, I think this is a significant jump, and it's something that you're going to be really, really, really happy with in the long run. So I would say to go with the refresh Model 3 over the old model, just solely based on this reason. Last and final pro I want to go over is the fact that you get premium features without having to pay an extra cost or upgrade to another trim like other car manufacturers kind of force you to do. So basically, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but when you're buying a regular car, you usually have to select a certain trim level to get premium features that are available in the previous level. And Tesla does a great job of giving you all the most of, if not all, the premium features uh, in all of the models. So the only thing that differs between this model, I have the base model by the way, this model, the long range, and the performance is the range and the performance itself, and speakers in the car. I think there's more speakers. I think around 18 speakers in the long range model and the performance model. Compared to this one, it only has 9. So if you are an audiophile and really, really prefer your audio quality to be as perfect as possible, then I would say to go with one of those models. But I'm telling you, this sound system is great. I've only gotten compliments from it. And it really is loud because the car itself, you got to remember that the car itself is quiet. There's no engine. So you could hear the music really well, and especially because of the improvement in the quiet cabin with the double paned windows, you could really, really hear the sound speakers well. So I haven't had any complaints. I've only received compliments, and I've never turned the sound up all the way because I felt like it was too loud. So I think the speakers in here are plenty, but like I said, it's up to you. So yeah, with this car, you get all the premium features. You get the heated steering wheel, you get a sunroof at no added cost, you get heated seats, ventilated seats, you get heated seats in the rear, you get a powered trunk, you get a hands-free trunk, you get all the features that you do in the rest of the models without having to pay an extra cost. I think that's something that Tesla does really well, and I hope other car manufacturers do the same. Another kind of honorable mention pro is that how easy it is to take delivery of the car when you're buying from Tesla. It's literally like you're purchasing something from Amazon. You just buy it online, you show up and you pick up the car. There's no added fees, no dealer or dealership schemes involved. It's literally just click and buy and pick up, which is something I loved when buying the car. The cons of this car. So I'm gonna start off with the exterior. The paint of this car is terrible, and it's something that's known among the Tesla community. What am I talking about? But yeah, it's known among people who drive Teslas that the paint isn't the best quality. So you need to know that before buying. I think PPF in the car is a good option if you plan on keeping it long term. But yeah, the car shows rock chips really, really easily. I've heard of people complain about swirl marks on the paint at delivery of a brand new car. So yeah, it scratches pretty easily. I'd recommend personally to get a light color vehicle because it won't show the dirt and the marks as much. One thing I regret doing is buying the blue color. I wish I went with like a lighter color. And the thing is, Tesla doesn't even offer another light color besides white, I feel like. So, and the silver maybe, but that's new. That wasn't available when I was purchasing. But yeah, I would say, yeah, the paint isn't the best. So just keep that in mind if you care a lot about that. Con number two. Con number two is something I'm experiencing right now. It's winter here in New York City, and temperatures dip pretty low, and it definitely has an effect on the Tesla battery for sure. There's a big decrease in range in the winter, so if you're somebody who drives a lot or have a long commute, I would suggest going with the long range model because the range does take a hit. So yeah, just be mindful that in the winter you're probably going to get a lot less range because the cold temperature has an effect on the battery, and I think also just driving in the winter the car is not as aerodynamic as it would be in the summer just due to the cold air. So yeah, just keep that in mind when buying the car. I think I made 2 trips to the airport one day, which isn't too far from my house, maybe 20, 15, 20 miles, and um, I went to work as well, which is 5 minutes away from my house, and bam, my battery was at 30%, went from 100% to 30%. So just keep that in mind that in the winter, don't take this range number here as fact. So just keep that in mind. Another con I would mention is that the fact that this car has no stocks, no physical stocks. And at first, it really didn't bother me, but over time, I started noticing why the stocks are kind of important. So it's easy for me to signal here, when the wheel is straight and I'm just clicking the buttons. Arguably, it's easier than, clicking on a stock. But the issue is when I'm turning this wheel, I'm trying to find out which one to click, and it gets really confusing. So at times like that, when the wheel is turned, I would just prefer to have a stock, especially around roundabouts, things like that. It would be really nice if I had a turn signal stock. And when it comes to the other stock, the shift stock, when you shift between drive and reverse and park, it would be nice to have because at times the screen isn't like the most responsive. It's really, really good. I would say 95% of the time it works, but there are times where I was trying to shift in reverse or into drive and it just didn't do it, and I had to just swipe multiple times. So it's nice, especially when you're making like a crazy maneuver, maybe like a U-turn or something. It's nice to just have the stock here. But there is a solution. The same company that makes this little knob here that I have, this aftermarket knob, are making aftermarket stocks that just stick onto here, and I'll be able to use it as soon as I get it. And yeah, if you guys are interested, I'll leave a link in the description to where you could find the aftermarket stocks. All you really need to do is install a little wireless commander down there. It's really not that difficult. It took me like 20 minutes. Once you do that, you can just install the stocks. It's literally, I think it's gonna be 3M taped onto here, and yeah, you just use it like normal stock. So I already pre-ordered it. I'm gonna take delivery hopefully by the end of this month, and I can give a little review on that once I get it. But yeah, that solves that problem. So one less con, I guess, for me, but for the general public, that is a con, and the only way to get rid of it is, through aftermarket products. Another con is that there's no Apple CarPlay and the phone integration just isn't the best. So the thing that I really like about CarPlay is that when I'm on Twitter, Instagram, even when the car is parked, I don't do that when I'm driving. I'm not, I'm a safe driver, both hands on the wheel, you know what I'm saying? So when I'm not driving and I'm just lounging on my phone, going through TikTok, scrolling through Instagram, whatever it is, the sound of the video never plays. I have to disconnect it from the car in order to hear the video. So I'll give you an example. So if I play this video, I won't be able to hear anything. The only way I could hear something is if I scroll down, hit this, disconnect from the car, play it straight from my iPhone, and then that's when I can hear the video. So it's something that gets annoying that I keep having to do that every time. And I'd rather just have a car that plays the audio. The only audio it plays is when you're on the phone or on FaceTime. But besides that, you're going to have to keep doing that, which gets really annoying. So yeah, that's where I kind of miss CarPlay. Other than that, you don't really need CarPlay. This car has literally everything, has the navigation. The navigation is arguably better than CarPlay. Only thing I'm kind of missing is Waze, because it lets you know where the police is at, any accidents, things like that. But it's perfectly fine. But yeah, for those of you who like to listen to YouTube podcasts while you're driving, it's not as easy as it should be. You kind of have to work around it. You have to go on the browser and then hit YouTube and then, start playing from here. And that's a little workaround because it'll play the audio, the video while you're driving. So I guess it's not too bad, but still, it's just an annoying thing that I wish Tesla made easier. And yeah, the fifth and final con, it's kind of a subjective one, is that the car is not that unique. I know I have the latest model and I don't see too many of them on the road yet, but in a year or 2 years time, there's going to be plenty of them on the road. And especially here in New York, they're used as taxis. So if you're someone who's like kind of self-conscious about driving a car that's used as an Uber or a taxi, then you should stay away from this vehicle. But I'm someone who doesn't really care. Hi guy, what's up? I'm someone who doesn't really care, so um, yeah, so I just want to let you guys know, just in case you're somebody who, you know, likes standing out or whatever. This is not the car for you. This is gonna be probably one of the most common cars on earth in the next few years. So yeah, with that being said, that'll conclude the video. I hope you guys kind of liked my format, hoping to improve it as well. Let me know what you guys want to see next in the future. And please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.